not one about a woman. Story 1. Sense of humor is very important. If we cannot make silly, slightly inappropriate jokes half the time or playfully tease each other, that is a no. Sometimes it is not about what she does, but rather what she does not do. Being shy can be a positive because I know she is just like me. Women who try to be the center of attention, no. Story 2. There is a certain Asian tradition that has interested me for a while, and I think it is the perfect analogy for one of my weirder attractions. When a valuable piece of pottery is broken, like a family heirloom vase, for example, they used to repair it with gold powder and lacquer. This left the damage open and prominent as a testament to its breakage and resurrection from destruction, proudly yet plainly showing its new and beautiful form. I think there are certain kinds of people who are lined with gold cracks, and I don't know what it is, but someone who lets that pain guide rather than halt, someone who learns from their anguish rather than shrink from it, and who shakes hands with the crazy rather than tries to stifle it are unbelievably sexy. It's beautiful to see someone repair themselves. They shimmer when they walk, and I want to bask in that light. Story 3. Easy. The women who have made me fall for them the fastest simply understood how different their lives are from mine and took the extra effort to make me feel desired. As a large black man, I can count on my fingers the times I have been approached, not just by women but in general. I understand that I can be intimidating, so I wear a huge smile and pretty much have to start every social interaction I'm in. If I'm not feeling social or just not in the mood, it can get lonely. I tend to suck it up because life is not fair, and to be honest, I have things pretty good in other areas. But the first time I met a girl who already understood my struggles here and really meant it, I melted. A lot of women I meet, of course not all, cannot really fathom what life would be like if people did not naturally start interactions with them. So when I meet one who does, I immediately fall in love. It is actually a problem. Story 4. How well does she talk? Is the conversation full of interesting questions? Can she be talkative with my friends? Is she chatty during car rides? Or can we listen to my music? True first-degree talkers understand this. Story 5. Personality. I've talked to girls who are not exactly my type, not ugly, but I just wasn't attracted to them. Then, when we started talking, I sort of started liking her a lot. I think if you have a good personality, most people will see a second face. It will be the same face, but it is more attractive. If that makes sense, I can try to explain better if you want. Story 6. A silly, quirky, nerdy personality. Compassion for others. Loving animals and children. Not caring what other people think about her. Spontaneity. And laughing at my stupid jokes is always a plus. Story 7. Admittedly, I am overwhelmingly attracted to intelligent, nerdy, and well-educated women who love animals. When I use online dating, I look for pictures of her with her pets, hints of above-average intelligence in her bio, and the kinds of activities she enjoys, excluding anything sexual. In person, I still look for similar hints and cues, but it relies more on actually talking to each other. Story 8. If she is insightful. I like the thinking kind of people. They teach me new things just by talking with them. Story 9. I was very attracted to my wife's intelligence and passion. I got her talking about a subject that meant a lot to her and was hooked. Story 10. Sense of humor and personality are important. She can be a Victoria's Secret model, but if she is stuck up, cannot take a joke, and is super judgmental about everything and everyone, goodbye. Story 11. Her behavior, respect, loyalty, fair treatment, dressing sense, and elegance. I would any day choose a woman who treats me with respect over a beautiful woman who is rude and narcissistic. Story 12. Kindness. Something about a kind, caring, and supportive woman. It is so simple, but I cannot actually explain the feeling and warmth when you find someone who is your biggest cheerleader and thinks about how to make your life easier. I guess that kindness equals my peace of mind. That is all I can ever ask for. Story 13. The way she talks, both the voice and expression of her speech, I would personally put even before looks. Story 14. Her mind. I want to have a good conversation. Does she have her own opinions? Can she support them? Common sense is a must. I need to be compatible mentally, or I am turned off. My wife was on a medication that really affected her memory. She told me a side effect was stupidity. It was the hardest 6 months of our marriage for me because normally, she has a quick wit and is whip smart. I am so glad that she was able to stop that medication. Story 15. First, depending on your goals, I would not say looks are the most important factor in making a woman attractive. She could be a 10 out of 10 stunning beauty with a terrible personality, and she would still be a terrible person. Fun to spend a few nights with, but nothing more. Honestly, the most important thing is personality and how she carries herself. Knowing she is your person, supports you, is not afraid to challenge you when needed, and does not bring up petty arguments. Story 16. The ability to have a real conversation and to have accountability is important. Bonus points if she has her own money. Story 17. Not giving a general impression of high maintenance and brattiness is extremely attractive in a woman. It shows she has done the work to emotionally mature. Story 18. A sense of humor goes a long way. My wife and I have banter that an outsider might think is abusive. We talk playfully, and I call her woman half the time. She cusses at me and acts like she is about to punch me. It is just us having fun. We have been together for 20 years and know each other inside and out. If I could not joke with her, this would never have worked. Story 19. Smile and communication. If she does not smile around me, I wonder what is wrong and feel awkward. When she talks to me about what is going on, even when it is bad news, I like it. Tell me you are feeling something and I will respond to that. Story 20. Intelligence and the ability to converse are important. Nothing is more attractive than having an engaging conversation with an intelligent woman. Story 21. Kindness, being able to admit her mistakes, and empathy. How she deals with other people in conflict is always a good indicator of how likely I could be able to deal with her on a daily basis, even if there is obviously a side you can only see when in a relationship. Story 22. When she can talk about something for hours that you normally would not care about, but with her specifically, it is the most interesting thing in the world, and you could just sit there and listen for the rest of time. Story 23. Compassion. I did not realize it at the time, but it is one of the many reasons I wanted to marry my wife. She is without a doubt the most compassionate person I have ever met. Story 24. Voice. I think most might consider this superficial, but if you can hear, you have to ask yourself, do I want to hear this voice for the rest of my life? My wife went from an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 when I heard her speak for the first time. We met in an online game, and even though we did video chats, I never heard her voice until we met in person. I went from maybe this is the right girl for me to picturing the rest of our lives together. If she did not have the voice she does, we would not have made it. Story 25. Sense of humor. A girl who can make me laugh and makes the mundane magical is an absolute keeper in my book. Story 26. Give me intelligence. It is hard to quantify since academic intelligence does not necessarily make someone interesting to talk to. However, if I cannot have a conversation without thinking, you are very unintelligent more than once, that is a massive turnoff. Story 27. Honesty and kindness. Not afraid to smile and not judgmental. Shows a genuine interest in me. It's okay to text us first or plan something for us too. It shouldn't feel one-sided, as a man it often does. Story 28. The most attractive curve on a woman's body is her smile. I still get butterflies after 12 years when my wife smiles at me. Story 29. Kind, caring, low drama, peaceful, good communication skills, intelligent, classy, not materialistic. Story 30. The right amount of self-confidence and empathy. Knowing who you are, being okay with whoever you may be, and having the strength to stand up on your own 2 feet is amazing. Story 31. Her eyes, her interaction with other people, sense of humor, and her ability to smile and speak her mind without being rude or mean. Story 32. Her ability to think critically and question things is already number 1 for me. I want to debate and dive into topics together. Anyone who cannot do that is not the one for me anyway. Story 33. I don't really care about body or looks to some extent. Sure, I'd like a pretty face, but I don't care about breast size, waist size, or all that. In a woman, I mostly look for someone who is on my level, not big-headed and is chill. Someone who is kind but also cool. I like a woman who shows strength and isn't afraid to speak her mind. I don't necessarily have a type, as I think all women are beautiful in their own way. If they like me for who I am, more than some Instagram model-looking guy, and they want to be with me because of who I am and how I treat them, not just for my money, then yeah, that's how you know you found someone good. Someone who will support you and will criticize you, but not negatively, only for the better. Story 34. Her smile. If I see a woman smiling a lot who appears to be genuinely happy, that is a huge turn on. It is like a big beacon saying, I am a happy person. I am not going to be a giant mess who is angry or stressed out all the time. I have noticed that women who smile a lot also tend to be much more fun to be around. Story 35. Her mind. Intelligence is very important to me. I like it when she is smarter than I am. Bonus points for glasses. Story 36. The way she talks. Does she have a little attitude in a good way? Is she teasing me? And if I tease her back, she does not mind. At least this is the beginning. Story 37. Honesty and the ability to think independently are very attractive qualities. When a girl has differing opinions and stands her ground among her friends, it shows strength and confidence. Story 38. How she acts. Sometimes my wife will pantomime oral sex when she has a popsicle. It always gets my attention. Story 39. Intelligence fades, but being stuck with a foolish person for the long-term marriage is literally hell on earth. Story 40. A woman is attractive to me if she treats me well, has hobbies she enjoys, and is polite to the people around her. Story 41. Personality and intelligence. It might sound cliché, but no one with sense stays long-term with a woman who lacks those qualities. In my friend group, the guys with girlfriends like that are the ones who are loyal. The ones with what you would call unintelligent girlfriends get encouraged to cheat or leave them. Story 42. Is her energy always negative or positive? It is okay to have a bad day, but try to show a little positivity to yourself. Story 43. Her mind. Looks will fade. I want someone who will talk about anything with me and be curious about the world around her. Story 44. Sharp mind, razor wit with a honed sense of healthy sarcasm, a validator by default. First instinct is to include, accept, build rather than cut everyone down, high social emotional intelligence. See that in a girl? Beyond smoking hot. Fortunately for me, I found that girl more than 36 years ago. Story 45. My current girlfriend attracted me enough to take her on a date. I then found out she was also incredibly intelligent and funny, which made me fall deeply in love. Story 46. Someone who has hobbies can understand that I need some time for my hobbies too. It may sound a bit negative, but I have had too many bad experiences. Lack of accountability or the attitude of she is always right is a deal breaker for me. Ultimately, the less she takes away from my current lifestyle while maintaining her own, the more attractive she is to me. Story 47. Personality is important, especially if she is authentic. Sometimes women can be very people-pleasing. Someone who is passionate, goofy, and genuine in how they express themselves is attractive. I have definitely found some women incredibly attractive who I would not have previously been interested in physically. It is how they treat others and how they carry themselves. Do not misconstrue that as arrogance. The whole "I'm all that" attitude might appeal to other men, but not to me. I knew a few women who were genuinely wholesome, no act, authentic, kind, and passionate. Pair that with vulnerability and honesty, and I am sold. Story 48. Does the life in your eyes count as appearance? I do not mean they are pretty. I mean the intellect and life come through. Story 49. Her ability to take a joke and being intelligent. Confidence, of course, to some extent. Some extremes make me run. Story 50. Her effort and reciprocating mine. You can be perfect, but without that, it might as well be nothing real except something nice to look at. Story 51. Kindness, a sense of humor, not uptight or easily offended within reason. Intelligence, Good at conversations. Reliability. Story 52. Sense of humor 1000%. Someone could be a 10 out of 10 in looks, but if they do not have a sense of humor and cannot laugh or get offended over trivial matters, they will be a 0 out of 10. Story 53. I like intelligence and curiosity, as well as honesty and empathy. The ability to laugh, including at oneself, is important too. Story 54. Openness. When you can talk about anything with her and she is not judgmental about you or others. Kindness. A sense of humor and confidence. Story 55. Personality. Warmth, kindness. Generally a good person to be around. Does she seem trustworthy? Is she good with children? And if she has none, how does she respond around them? That is more important than anything else. She could be 6 or 7 out of 10, but with a personality off the charts, she will win every day. You plan on spending the rest of your life with her. 10 out of 10 looks fade, and all you are left with is her personality. The same applies to the man. Story 56. Question looks and body aside. What is the next thing in a woman that makes her attractive? Intelligence. Sings. Plays a musical instrument or two. Educated. Competent. Strong. Wit. Humor. Writes well. Reads. Can and will saddle a horse. Does not need me but wants me around. Story 57. Chemistry is that special feeling you get with certain people but not everyone. That feeling is essential. You can get along fine with someone online but meet in person, and you will know within a few minutes if there is any chemistry there. Story 58. Voice. Some are soothing, some are arousing, some are grating, and some are just okay. When I am on Discord calls with girls, some of them stand out very well. Not in a suggestive way, but in a way that makes me absorb everything they say. Like a voice that is lovely to listen to. Like you could have her read the first paragraph in B-Movie and it would be attractive. The best example is the narrator from Baldur's Gate 3. When she says authority, it gives me tingles, like the hyenas from The Lion King when Mufasa is mentioned. No lie, I would pay her to say omelette du fromage. Story 59. Confidence and comfort in herself, not to be confused with arrogance. Good posture is important. Some people can look good in anything, while others make a suit or dress look like a crumpled mess. Story 60. Kindness and vulnerability are more important to me than looks and body. I find most women attractive, but when a woman truly falls for me, she becomes the only one I see. This quality is not only important to me, it is the most attractive trait a woman can have. Story 61. What do you mean? Do women have more than that? Kidding. Just a little humor to lighten the mood. Story 62. A desire, drive, enthusiasm for something. I was going through hazardous materials training last year. We had a guest speaker for 2 days. A lady who didn't wear makeup, had minimal hairstyling, and wore basic jeans and a sweater. She was short and a bit chubby. Chemist. By God, did she make me melt. The way she talked about her craft, the way you could see her excitement about the subject, how knowledgeable she was. I was absolutely smitten by her. Or take my coworker, for example. She loves gardening. She can talk for hours about gardening. Loves to show pictures of her plants and vegetables. Story 63. Her ability to agree and build upon ideas is, I swear, the most sacred feminine trait. It can be detrimental if corrupted. Story 64. To be these two things means being willing to crack jokes and do funny things, and being able to hold down vulnerable and difficult conversations. Story 65. Personality, both in person and over the phone, such as in text messages or calls, is important. Mostly, personality in person matters. If you are fantastic in person but dry over text, it is acceptable and I can personally work with that. However, if it is the other way around, it is a no. Story 66. Be interesting to talk to. For me, that means being able to speak on a wide variety of topics and being comfortable in many social situations. Story 67. Attitude towards others informs you about much that usually goes unsaid. Are they clean and tidy? They do not have to be a clean freak, but just tidy. Do they have a job or hobbies? I do not care what they are as long as they can support themselves. I am more than happy to help out, but it cannot be reliant on me. Story 68. Whenever the choice is available, she chooses her happiness without it being at the detriment of others unless those people are unpleasant. Story 69. Noticing me, talking to me, taking an interest in me, complimenting me. Most women do not even make eye contact. Story 70. She is able to show love, forgive, and have a conversation. She is communicative in difficult situations, whether good or bad. She shows what she means rather than just saying it and being silent. Little things too, like affirmations, will boost confidence for sure. Story 71. I think what a woman is interested in is usually the best thing. Does she like to go out and drink often? Or would she rather stay in and knit a sweater? Story 72. Seriously, as a woman who has felt my whole life that I was nothing without my looks, it infuriates me how superficial we all are. It sounds contradictory as I now capitalize on my looks, but what is the point of having a good-looking partner who doesn't tick any other boxes? Can you really enjoy not just intimacy but life with a hot partner who brings nothing else? I'm not shaming beautiful people. I'm saddened that society's obsession with beauty outweighs everything else. Story 73. Looks I can give you, but the body is not even in the top 5. Eyes smile and then the brain behind it all. Story 74. Her dedication to staying fit and beautiful throughout life is impressive. Does she work out? Does she eat healthily? Story 75. I just say be polite and don't try to prove to a man that you are not soft. I see many girls push it, and it just makes men not like them. Just be yourself. I'll be honest, if a man does not like you for who you are, then that is it. The same goes for men as well. Also, cooking matters. If you can cook for a man, you will steal his heart. Story 76. Really being very cooperative with me. I love it when I naturally get along well with a person, and a romantic partner being like that is absolutely amazing. It really puts me at ease and allows me to relax. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.